Hello students, welcome to Indian Economy and welcome to this basic course on Indian Economy. And the main objective of this course is to provide you a strong base on Indian Economy topic from the Civil Services Examination point of view. And before straight going to the course and course content chapters etc., let's have a short session on how to develop the basics on Indian economy, and we should have a strategy while preparing the Indian economy topic and how can build the basics in economics. And this may be a question that you might have asked you several times, and we all know that getting basics in Indian economy is the biggest hurdle for almost 90% of the UPSC aspirants. And here in this short session I would like to give you 7 tips for developing basics in economics. Okay, which are those 7 tips? The first one is be patient until you learn around 70% of each area. Okay, so remember 70% of each area, not 70% of the entire economics topic. Okay, understand? So what we mean by 70% of each area? For example, in the case of financial system, okay, there may be it is a part of a topic, like it is closely connected with RBI's monetary policy. Okay, monetary policy, similarly financial regulation. Okay, so all those topics are closely related. Okay, concept related to monetary policy, financial regulation etc. are necessary to understand the development of the financial system and the banking sector. Okay, so when you are studying some topic related to banking sector, you may feel that several concepts, meaning you are missing. Don't worry, when you are studying out the monetary policy, again the financial regulation etc., you can get clear idea about the bank system. You should not complain that you are not getting any of the basics after attending 1 day's class or 2 days class. Wait for covering around 70% of the area at least till you go through the minimum threshold. You don't give up. Okay, don't run away. Okay, don't be a dropout. Okay, and initially you might think that you are in the midst of a fog. Okay, and this is important, especially if you are not an economics graduate. That is a normal situation, that is natural, but don't give up. The fog will get cleared soon. Covering more topics will give you clear vision. Okay, so these are the points I would like to suggest you regarding the basics development. And we are considering an example here. For example, to learn about the value of rupee, okay, you should learn about balance of payment. Okay, balance of payment shows different accounts, its connection with the value of rupee etc. Capital mobility, FP, FDI etc. FP, FDI, FP etc. Then an exchange rate system, okay, fixed exchange rate system, flexible exchange rate system, like that. So all those topics are necessary to understand the value of rupee. And now I would like to bring one more element in our preparation of basics, that is the difficult level, and how the difficulty levels, difficulties regarding the preparation of the basic concept, they should be tackled. You may be finding that in the initial stages of your preparation you don't have any idea about different concepts, you cannot understand their working logics etc., and there is high level of difficulty, especially at the beginning. Remember that our difficulty level will come down, okay, with our preparation, with this time we spend, with the time, and it will be smooth since we cross once we cross that threshold we mentioned, like the threshold I have mentioned in the previous session, that is 70%. So once you cross that 70% on that particular area, okay, you can easily follow what we can say, the basic concepts. And here I would like to bring you a diagram. What is the relationship between the difficulty you are going to face while preparing the basics and the time you spend? Here on the x-axis I would like to put the time you spend. Okay, time. Similarly, the area you cover, both are almost the same. Okay, we assume that the time, as the time you go increases, the area you cover also gets increased. Okay, so that is on the x-axis. On the y-axis, is a difficulty level, or the amount of doubts you would like to raise. Okay, so these are the two variables we would like to identify on the x-axis and the y-axis respectively, and what is the connection between these two. Here I would like to draw a diagram. Okay, the difficulty level, it goes on like in this pattern. Okay, so this is the relationship between these two factors. When you start preparation here, with the time, 1 day, 2 day, the difficulty level goes up, because you are coming to different concepts, different areas, etc. Goes up, okay, and till it reaches around not just 70% or at this level time, the difficulty level, it remains considerably high, but after that it comes down. So after reaching this threshold level, we can see that difficulty level comes down, and you should not you should not be a dropout candidate during this difficult phase. Things will get easy once you cross this level, okay, this spend this much time or cover this much area, okay. And the next point I would like to suggest is learn concepts and their working, okay. And here several students, they just understand the concept from a textbook or from a dictionary, that is static learning. You should understand their working. Economics is not about just concepts, but more about how they work in the real world economy, okay. And this is a picture and this a concept, and actually you should not understand things from this static view, okay. This is not the way you should understand economics, rather this is economics, okay. This is the way through which you should understand a particular concept. That means concepts, how it's working is important. Learn how the concepts are working, okay. That's the basic, okay. And the concepts and their working, the concepts and their textbook meaning are useless unless we learn how they work in the economy. This is why textbook based basic level development becomes difficult in economics. You may have search for several textbooks for developing basics, more than that, a class itself will be good and helpful for you. For example, the working of repo rate is more important than valuable than the concepts of repo rate, how repo rate influences the interest rate, how repo rate increases, how the repo influences what liquidity, okay, liquidity through the LAF. So all such mechanism you can have a clear idea from a classroom rather than from a textbook. So that is my suggestion regarding that working up the concept. And third one, get your basic through the class. The meanings, this part is very important, through the class, and no special solution for basics. You may have different idea. My suggestion is that, my recommendation is that you should go through an area or go through the class, okay, to understand basic related to that area, okay. And here let me explain that, whether we need special sessions on basics, that may not be that much helpful, okay. Special session on basics will not yield much result, okay. And you should learn basic concept in the context of the underlying topic. This is my idea, what I would like to tell you, because when you are studying about the budget, you should have an idea about the tax system in India, okay, the expenditure pattern. Similarly, the basics about how the government does its policy, like fiscal policy, okay. So there are different basic concepts. When you are learning about the budget, tailor-made budgetary concepts are not enough. You should cover the budget within this framework, entire topic, that is called fiscal policy. So you should learn basic concepts in the context of the underlying topic, okay, in the context of the entire topic, okay. And learn basics while learning the topics. Learn basics. You should not take out basic concepts separately. You should study basic concepts when you are understanding that particular topic or area, okay. And we are coming to next point, that is continuity in preparation. What we mean by continuity in preparation, okay. Complete a given topic in a single stretch. It will help saving time and facilitate quick grasping, okay. For example, if you are studying about the monetary policy, the financial system, let me say the financial system, okay, you should study monetary policy and the RBI, okay, and similarly financial regulation, okay, similarly the commercial banking system and NBFCs. So there are a lot of topics which have considerable overlapping, okay. And you start that topic, end this topic in a single stretch, because the idea you developed or acquired here will be applicable throughout this related concept. So that is the significance of this point. Complete a given topic in a single stretch. Okay, complete this in 1 month or 2 months, so study today this topic or in 1 week, and after 3 months you may be coming to this financial regulation. So for example, if you are covering topics related to external sector, complete all the external sector topic in one stretch. Balance of payment, rupee, exchange rate, capital flows, trade, IMF, WTO, etc. all closely connected. You complete this topic in a stretch. That will help you considerably. Okay, because the concept, when you are understanding IMF, you should have basic in balance of payment. This will reduce the time for refreshing the earlier topics every time you start any of the subtopics. Okay, and revise the topic frequently. That is also very important. You should not stop once just reading or covering this topic, but revision is very important. And we are coming to fifth point. Don't make unnecessary deep mind. And this is one issue, one problem that is there regarding the civil service aspirant, especially they are handling a topic like Indian economy. They may be always going in deep through different concepts and topic, that concepts may not be, or that area may not be asked in the civil service examination. Don't make unnecessary deep mining of a topic. If a topic gives us some curiosity value, okay, several of the students, they may be brilliant, but still they consider this topic, rather economic subject, as quite challenging one. They will go after unnecessary deep mining, like they may ask that they should learn what stock market, like that, stock market, the details of stock market are not usually asked in the civil service examination, but just they go through that. You are just wasting the time there. Similarly, you are maybe going after complex product like derivatives. Basics of derivatives are needed. Okay, their nature, like that, what type of derivatives are there, who is the regulator, like that, but more than that, understanding the derivatives, the generation of derivatives, the process, etc., going after that, it will be time wasting one. Unnecessary deep mining deviates you from the target. Okay, and don't work overtime on a topic for a long time. Okay, and where you lose your time, when you lose your time, you lose your future. So that is about what we can say, making unnecessary deep mining. Review your work and time allocation when going through tough economy topic. There are some topics are very tough, so especially those related what we can the stock market, like that, you should not go through that, even if some current affairs updates are there in the newspapers. And next one is don't fall in beginner syndrome. And what is beginner syndrome? And here, a common problem found in civil services students is that they start with the GDP, goes through it, and ends their entire economics preparation in GDP. Okay, this is a common problem. I'm not saying it is a disorder, but it is a problem. Usually you can find in several civil service students, they consider that GDP is very important. Okay, so they try to learn GDP. They may be discussing about what we can say, the difference between GDP and GNB. This month and next month also they will do that. Even after next year's preparation, they will start with GDP, like that. So all other topics becomes very insignificant. Economics is not all about GDP. Okay, so don't get stuck there. You should give, just understand GDP is the what we can say, final value of goods and services produced. This is the value of the final goods and services produced in the economy during a particular period of time. Okay, and then some exam oriented updates should be there regarding GDP, nothing more than that. And the next suggestion I would like to make you is that consult a teacher or be in a discussion platform, and mentoring will very help you, especially in this topic of economics. And how good is a teacher? Because the basics, the working, etc., need subjective interpretations. So consult a teacher or be in a discussion platform. A good teacher will reduce your work, or rather workload, stress, and will save your time. This concept you might have already in your mind, because a good teacher, when he is accessible, will almost sort out all of your problems. Okay, so he can reduce your workload. Or he can be in a discussion platform also, if there are good persons and knowledgeable persons are there. Discussion platforms are are very helpful. And another suggestion I would like to add you is that do quality MCQs. This will cement your base. Don't run away from MCQs. And that's the mode of questions in the civil service prelim examination. And still, vague and uncertain questions will not help. That is one more suggestion, because we are finding several vague and uncertain questions from different platforms. So they will not give you much idea. So especially they may confuse you, especially in the initial phase of learning. So in the initial phase of learning, you try to do simple MCQs, because that will cement your learning. So MCQs are not just testing your knowledge, but rather what we can say, they will cement your knowledge. They will help you to revise the topic in an efficient way. So MCQs are very important. And similarly, around I may suggest you that for doing an MCQ, it is 70% knowledge and 30% technique. Okay, so when you are doing an MCQ, you will be learning this technique. Technique is very important to sort out a question. It's not just about the knowledge. And don't go after tough questions initially. So that is also very important, because children are not expected to fight against adult people like that. Tough questions you need not sort out initially. That's my suggestion. You can have your own ways, but this will help in acquisition knowledge easily, as well improve your confidence level and leave them to be attacked later. And that's all about this session for developing the basics on Indian economy. I hope that you can follow some of these steps at least. And thanks for listening. Best wishes.